Hello, welcome to an F1 2020 league race at Vietnam, starting in P last, which in this case is P14. And I could find some decent traction here, so I have a pretty good start. However, I do lift a little bit early for the first turn because I didn't know when it was coming, because I couldn't see anything. Now, thanks to the harmonica effect, I can keep up, and there seems to be a massive pile up there, but it was only a few cars. I thought it was like 5 cars in there, and I get already passed by one of them. And in the next turn I have someone on my inside, but there's no space for him. So I ended up only passing 2 cars, but at least my car is unharmed, so that's great. And heading into this slower section, which again allows me to catch up because of the harmonica effect. Pretty nice. And into this long turn, difficult to know when to go on throttle. And then this very long straight. Now onto the hairpin, and this Alpha Tauri is already looking at my position. And I give him plenty of space, but he didn't pass me in the end, so I can stay ahead. Now he turned out to have front wing damage. And he's still able to keep up with me, which doesn't tell anything great about my raw pace here. And now onto the fast section around here. And I'm not sure if I had the greatest setup for this. I don't think I had a wet setup at all. So yeah, that's not really ideal. Now the Red Bull is coming into the pits, probably for a new front wing. And at the end of the lap that will get me in P11. Now coming out of the hairpin in lap 2, and someone had an issue, so I'm getting another position. Now onto lap 3, and the sky is actually looking like it's about to clear up. But just a couple of seconds later, it turns completely grey again. So that's very interesting. So I haven't driven this track very often, and that's why the dry line that appeared because of the rain was kind of useful. For example, in this part of the track, where the turn-in point for this turn is pretty hard to find. And the dry line definitely helped me with that. Even though I had done some practice laps in time trial. And also this turn, you should go really wide, and most of the time I didn't, and now I do. So those 2 turns are actually the hardest of the track, and then the rest is pretty straightforward. But having that dry line there was surely beneficial. Now at the end of lap 5 in P8, because of people pitting, and then I lose the car in a very clumsy way. However, I saved the car, and that's the most important thing. Now in lap 6 we get a virtual safety car, and because I have to respect my delta, I stood still, and the car behind me almost drove into me, but luckily he didn't. Now quickly after that virtual safety car, I missed my braking point, and that allows the racing point to just go all the way around, passing me very easily. Now there's also an Alfa Romeo behind me, and as I go onto the straight, I turn on ERS, giving me a moment, and he also got a moment. I don't know if it's because of my moment, but that was kind of funny. Now at the start of the next lap, he still gets ahead of me easily in turn 1. So the Vietnam track, I haven't driven it very often. I've only done 2 races on there, this is being the second one. And it's pretty good. I think the part after the hairpin, after the long straight, is my favorite part. It has some nice quick turns. And overall I think it's pretty enjoyable to drive around here. Now an interesting question is, will there ever be a Vietnam Grand Prix in real life? I guess we'll find out in the future. And if not, this will be an interesting relic from the F1 game series. Now halfway through the race, and the rain has already stopped for a while at this point. But the track is not drying very quickly, and the car in front is already on the slicks, as you can see. But he's struggling as the track is still pretty wet, so I can easily get by. But at this point I have a warning about my tire condition, so soon I'm gonna have to pit myself as well. but I'm trying to stretch my current stint. Because if more people change the slicks on this pretty wet track, that potentially increases the chance of a safety car. As you can see right here. But the warning about my tire condition is changed to orange, and I didn't know it did that. So that's time for me to change the slicks anyway. And I'm going to the medium tire, and apparently somewhere along the way I picked up some front wing damage, which I didn't remember. And I also didn't feel it, but apparently it was there. But it was only some light damage. Now coming out of the pits, getting huge wheel spin.
Look after these tires now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Coming out in P10. And there's only 12 people in the race still. I'm going onto the straight and have some wheel spin, but can keep it together. So the lap that I set after my outlap wasn't even quicker than my fastest lap on the inters. I took 2 minutes, whereas my fastest lap on the inters was apparently 1 minute and 54 seconds. So the track's not drying very quickly. Now the lap after that one, I finally get a green delta after turn 1. I think though hindsight that the soft tire would have been a better choice. And a lap later I improved with 4 seconds, so the track is drying slowly. And from this moment on I continuously started to improve my lap times. But still I never really got comfortable enough to push all the way. So right now I'm P9, but about to get overtaken by someone who changed to the soft tire compound. And the car behind me seems to be struggling quite a bit, so if all goes well I'll be finishing in P10. Now at the end of lap 22 and I get blue flags for this Mercedes behind me, and I really have to move aside because in this league ghosting is disabled. Now the track not drying very quickly didn't make this race as fun as what could have been. But at least I'm heading for a P10 finish, which is gonna give me a point. Now usually the guys in this league would be too quick for me, but these rainy conditions really give me more opportunities than otherwise, which is fun. Now onto the checkered flag in P10, and just by keeping the car on the track and not make too many mistakes, I was able to get a hold of a point. So that's nice. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.